We're gonna do legs today, and the props that you can use, of course they're always optional, is one of these kind of stretchy circular bands called an infinity band or a resistance band. If you don't have that, you can tie this into about, let's say like a 8-inch loop or something like that. You can tie that into a circle, and if you have a fabric band, that's great because it won't roll up on you, but it's gonna be way more resistance than this, so it's gonna limit your range of motion, which is not always a bad thing. So, you were gonna start on your hands and knees for a little mobility before we just jump right into your hips. So, come onto your hands and knees, push the ground away with your hands, push the ground away with your shins, integrate your head, your chest, your ribs, your belly, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna shift back, aiming your sits bones, your ischial tuberosities, pubic bone, coccyx straight back, pull forward. Aim it straight back, allow your sits bones to widen, allow this hip crease to deepen, and then come forward. This one, you're gonna go back. You're gonna shift over to one side, get a little lateral movement through your femurs, come forward into your arms, keep pushing the ground away, go around to the other side, shifting around and center. Do one more in that direction, just keep going. Whichever direction you went is fine. Find reaching your hips back and center, make sure your belly's supported, just go the other way. Wee. 2 in the other direction. Shifting to the side, then forward, and all the way back and center. And then you're gonna come to rest on your back. You can lay on your side and roll over, or you could sit, grab your thighs, and roll down. If you need head support to allow your ribs to drop, grab that. All right, so you're gonna take your strap, whatever you're working with, around your foot. And you are going to use your bottom leg to help keep your pelvis and your ribs level. Now, I'm not going to immediately straighten this leg. What I'm going to do is check in with my sacrum and my ribs. I may or may not want more stretch, and if I do that, I'll straighten my bottom leg. You might want to keep that bottom leg bent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this knee, keeping my foot as aimed straight up towards the ceiling as I can, and then I'm going to straighten or think about straightening my leg by thinking about stacking my shin on top of my thigh, reaching my heel towards the ceiling. We're going to do that 2 more times. Bending. Now I'm not bringing my foot down. I'm bending by creasing my hip, folding there. And then as I straighten, I think heel reaching up, shin stacking over my femur. And is that only what's happening? No, of course, there's a lot of other things happening, but I'm thinking that. And then you're gonna stay up on the next one. Position your band however you need to then flex and point your foot 3 times here. And then circle your ankle, thinking about your toes, really drawing circles through space. So you're getting this kind of like, almost feels a little like flossing your nerves. Go the other direction. Soften your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. And then come center. Bring this leg a little bit across. It might be bent, that's okay. Bring it across. I'm still trying to keep my sacrum centered as I bring this leg across. Let my shoulders relax, breathe there. Come center, I'm gonna bring my leg out to the side. Again, this leg might be bent. I'm gonna try and keep my sacrum centered. It's gonna move a little bit, but I'm gonna try and keep this opposite hip anchored as I open this leg out. I have a wall for it to rest on, which is very nice, but you might not have that. So you could bend this leg. Sometimes like a half of a happy baby pose feels really nice, even across that other hip. And then bring both legs in, both knees bent. Take a moment, just do a little knee wiggle, hip wiggle. We're gonna do the other side. Take your other foot into the strap. Take a moment with that foot in the strap. Check in with your shoulders, your ribs, your belly, your sacrum. See if you wanna straighten that bottom leg or not. You're gonna bend this top leg. I'm really trying to think, bring my knee towards my chest or my armpit and try and keep both sides of my waist even in length. Easier said than done. And then when I straighten, I think heel up, shin on top of thigh. Even though my thigh is technically moving too, I'm just aiming that way. So I'm thinking about space around my knee joint, glide in my hip joint. And then you attempt to straighten, reaching through that heel. One more. Let your tongue and your jaw release, because that will help with this, like your SCM, your scalings and things like that connect and pull in your shoulders that also go all the way down to your hip. Then you're going to straighten that leg, or attempt to straighten that leg. Then you're going to point and flex that foot 3 times. And then you're going to circle that foot 3 times in each direction, thinking about your toes drawing, especially like if you have toes that tend to be like kind of crammed together. Really, when you flex and you come around, really spread them apart, and then go the other direction. It's so weird. On one foot, it's fine. The other foot and leg, totally different. Then you find your happy medium. You're going to keep your sacrum as centered as you can as you bring that leg across. Breathe. Let your shoulders, your neck, your throat, your jaw release, because that will help with your hip and pelvic floor release. And then you're going to bring this leg center. You're going to open it out to the side. If you want to straighten that leg, sometimes that straightening the leg when we go out to the side is a little bit easier. And then come center. Now we've done a fair amount of mobility. Let's go into our strength. You're going to take the strap around your thighs. I like to go just above my knees, maybe like a hand's distance above my knees, because then it's lower on the lever of my legs, and I like that. You might want to go higher. Feet are going to be wide enough to where you feel like you've got some resistance there. Arms down by your side. If it's hard to get your arms straight down by your side, bend your elbows. Push the back of your armpits back into the mat. Head support goes away because we're going to be doing bridging. You're going to press into your whole foot, lift the hips up, reaching the knees out over the toes. Make sure you're not doing your bridging from your back. This is glute bridging, not preparation for spine and a yoga class bridging. This is hip extension. Your hamstrings and glutes do that. Your spine does not do your hip extension. You're going to tap your butt down and lift for 1. Breathing. I'm keeping consistent pressure on the band. 2, 3, trying to press my feet evenly, trying to press my legs evenly. 6, 7, 8, 9, hold up there. 10, stay there. Keep your belly and ribs dropped. Keep your hips lifted. Push those feet. Little pulses, little bitty pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come all the way down with the band around your thighs. I like to keep a little bit of tension as I roll to my side, because if I let it go, it will start to roll up on me. So here we are with your knees bent, feet back with the back edge of the mat, butt, ribs, head with the back edge of your mat. My knees are bent. Now I'm going to clamshell open, but I'm going to lift my feet just a little bit. So I'm going to lower down, losing some of my tension. This is internal rotation technically, and then I'm going to open up, turning out, and then lower down and lift up 2. I'm thinking more, even though my ball of my foot is there touching, but I'm thinking more about my heels being in contact and what that feels like. 3, I'm just doing 5 of these. 4 and 5. Let your bottom leg drop down and kind of push against that band. Let your top leg straighten out in alignment with your head. If you need to look down the side of your body and check your alignment, heel and ankle, knee, hip, pelvis, ribs. Keep that there. Think about where your band is touching your thigh. It should be touching the top of your thigh, or that lateral side of your thigh, so that side, and a little bit the back. And you're going to think, I'm going to try and stay in contact the most with the back and the side as I lift and lower for 5. And 4, and 3, and 2, last 1, bring it in. Before we do the other side, you're going to roll over onto your back. I'm going to wiggle around. This again, if you need head support to get your ribs down, by all means, you're going to think, okay, ribs and shoulders, neck, head really anchored, right? Maybe not the neck, but neck is long, head is anchored, ribs are anchored. Pelvis is in a place where it feels good in your back. If it can be neutral, fantastic. If not, that's okay. If it needs to have a little imprint. And then you're going to lift your heels, keep the pressure against your band, lift your feet up and flex your feet. So here you are, a very active tabletop. I am laterally pressing against the band. That means pushing out to the side, not collapsed. I am active, so I'm in this middle range. I'm not together, I'm not wide apart. I'm just like maybe hips distance, maybe shoulders distance, pushing against the band. And we're gonna do marching here, but your sacrum, pelvis, rib cage has to stay stable, which is kind of nice because this leg that stays in can kind of pull and this leg can push against that. So you can use your hamstring to push down, you use your hip flexors to pull in, and then switch. And just remember to breathe as you switch. Switch, switch. And because we did all the mobility work, can I get words out of my mouth? Because we did all that mobility work, I'm getting a nice fold in these hip joints. It feels great. And thinking about my head lengthening away from my anchored tail. My ribs drawing back, my waistline drawing in. One more set. And then you're going to bring your feet together and you're going to bring them down. Keep a little pressure and you're going to roll over to your other side so we can do the other leg with the side legs. So from here, you're going to have your knees bent, feet back, head, shoulders, ribs, pelvis, feet with the knees bent, back against the mat. Bring the legs are in a little clamshell position with the top knee lifted and the bottom leg down, bottom knee down, but you're going to lift your feet up, focusing on your heels together. Think about where your band and the thighs meet, and you're going to lower that top leg down and then lift it up for one. Steady the pelvis. This is not a pelvis or spinal movement. This is a hip joint movement. Internal rotation as we lower the knee down, external rotation as I lift the knee up. 3, 4, 5, hold there, bring your bottom foot down, push that leg against the band, straighten your top leg, think about the side of the leg hitting the band and the back of your leg hitting the band. Make sure your foot is in alignment with the rest of your body. You're going to lift and lower 1 and 2. I'm reaching that top foot super, super long. 3, 4, just 5. 5, bring that leg down, bring the legs together and relax those legs. And now you're going to roll over back onto your back, but before I get too cozy on my back, I'm going to adjust my strap all the way down around my feet. So around my feet, rolling back. Take a moment and wiggle and support your head and neck in your hands. Bring your elbows into your peripheral vision so that your shoulder blades are not, so if I have my elbows too far back, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a choice that we're making. But what I want to do in effort to not shear through our necks, but actually control the rib cage control, the thoracic spine control, and the abdominal control, I want to integrate my shoulder blades onto my rib cage by reaching those elbows up. Then I want to roll through my thoracic vertebra, through my rib cage to come up. Now, if this is not the right call for you, keep your ribs down and bring your head down. You might need head support. Do it like that. It's not easier necessarily, but it is better for your neck sometimes and sometimes for your back. Then you've got this strap around your feet. You're going to lift your feet up. You're going to again flex your feet. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull one foot in and one foot pushes away. Here you are. If you want to do traditional single leg stretch, you could hang onto this leg that comes in, lengthen there, shoulders away from the ears, and then you switch. And then you switch. And then you switch. And you're pushing laterally as you also are pressing one leg in and pulling one leg in. So the feet and legs are a little wider than normal. So you can play with it. One more set. And then bring the legs in. You're going to roll to your hands and knees with the feet in the strap. So good luck getting up there. So here I am, hands and knees. You are going to have the feet around the straps, toes tucked, push the ground away, head, ribs, belly, all lifting. I'm going to slide one leg back. I'm going to hold there. So immediately my leg, the side that didn't move, is kind of trying to do something in the hip. Not necessarily bad. I want to make sure that foot didn't pull in with it. So I still have foot, knee, hip aligned in my stable side. And then you're going to exhale, you're going to reach and lift the straight leg back and up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that leg in. If you need more, do more. Try the other side. Toes, knee, hip. Press the ground away, stretch your other leg out. Lengthen and lift here, and you've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that foot down, step it wide, step your hands a little forward, step your other foot out wide as well. Hold there in your plank. Push the ground away, lengthen, hold. Aim your pubic bone towards your feet, not up in the air, not towards the mat. Step your feet to one side, step open. Step your feet to the other side, open. To one side, open. To the other side, open. I lost my band. And center with your wide feet, center with your hands, push the ground away, lengthen. Get your glutes working with this. And then bring your knees down, bring your feet together and drop your band. And stretch back into a wide-kneed child's pose. Now, if your knees or your body cannot allow you to take your butt towards your feet, you just take your head down and your hips up. Or you allow your hips to go back and your arms to crawl forward and you breathe there. And you take 2 deep breaths. And when you're ready, you take your hands towards your legs and you use them to stack all the way up. And you're done. Super short, simple, accessing these dynamic ways to use your hips that both give you mobility and strength at the same time. All right, until next time, keep moving.